Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order is a campaign set in the world of Duyranaki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 160 of Twilight of the Old Order. The Twilight Party have resumed their pursuit of the Committee for the New Age, following their trail into the depths of a long-forgotten underground complex. We return to our heroes in a hidden chamber, the base of a stairway lost to memory, with a mysterious mirrored device on the wall, and with the party debating their next move. They face a choice. Step through what they believe to be a portal to an unknown destination, or attempt the journey back to the Vale of Whispers. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance. And, as the words say on screen, welcome at the beginning of 2025, the very first game of 2025. Welcome to our story. What story is that? The story that we're telling tonight is Twilight of the Old Order. It's a tabletop role-playing game set in the world of Duyranaki, the continent of men, and the rule system that we're using is Rolemaster, a rather crunchy old system dating all the way back to the 1980s. Up on screen are the 6 characters that are in play tonight. They are greyed out, you will note, and they are not named. In a moment or so, we're going to go to a pre-recording. We caught up in person at the tail end of last year, as we usually do. We play remotely, typically, but we caught up in person, and as part of that, catching up in person, we did some quizzing of each player of the characters, quizzing their counterparts how much they know about the character that they play, and little bit by little bit we're sharing those recordings, and in a second or so we'll go to one of those as a bit of an intro to one of the faces up on screen. Before we do, my regular, sincere thank you to all the people that follow us online and provide support and encouragement and enthusiasm, and also those that have stuck at it and been very patient over the last little while to get out the videos from those in-person sessions. This one, of course, will come out to you a lot faster, but yes, the in-person videos do take a while, and hence it's been a long time between drinks. Okay, as mentioned, we're going to go to that pre-recording. I'm unsure exactly which one it's going to be because I haven't done the edit yet. I hope you enjoy it. Going to that now.
Well, the day has flown by, and here we are, day 2 of the game. I've got a second t-shirt that I wear, I have washed. And we've got questions 6 to 10, second part of Tanya's questions. And the first question today is, what kind of elf is Tanya? Is it, look, multiple choice, is it A, wood, is it B, high sea grey, D, sylvan, or E, Santas? What you got? We've got wood. We've got wood.
Wood.
We've got high. We've got high. Wood. It is. Pete and Giles, full marks.
I'm going to get 1 out of 10.
Next question. What skill is Tenyum strongest in? Is it A, tracking. B, stalk and hide. C, longbow. D, acrobatics, or E, sarcasm.
So it's Tanya, not the controller, right?
Yeah. we don't have a lot in common, to be fair. Let's see your answers. We've got B, stalk and hide. C, longbow. A, tracking. And stalk and hide. Stalk and hide is correct. It's B.
Damn.
Why? Always stick with the first answer.
That's right. Trust your instincts.
Right. Another one for those who've been paying attention during our games. This has only happened once. What additional ability does Tanya's short sword for slaying have? It has one other thing that it does other than kill things efficiently. It's quite unusual. It's only happened once. And if I can see by your faces you're confused, so I'm going to remind you we're in a bar area of the town. Short sword was in a sack at her feet. What happened? We have nail file. It might do that too. It has glows blue. It sings opera. And Pete has it again. It is return to sender. That's correct.
Return to sender.
Very good.
Good.
Very good, Pete.
Return to sender.
I don't know if send is the right word, but
Question 8. Yes. Which family friend of Tenya's assisted in the party's successful storming of the TPP's agent Torvash Twilier's apartment in Jebbai Rima? He had a name. What was he called? Tacitus Blint,
Gotta choose here.
Cassius Stint, Rastus Glint, Bastus Flint. I can't remember the others now. Justice Clint or Cupid Stunt.
Not good for people with dyslexia. Number 4 is
Number 4, I'll read those again. That's Tacitus Blint, or Tacitus Blint, I should say. Cassius Stint, Rastus Glint, Bastus Flint, Justice Clink, or Cupid Stunt.
please go for E. Go for E. Go for E.
We've got Erastus Glint. We've got a blank. Oh no, C.
C,
which
C.
is
Yes,
Rastus Glint. We've got C, Rastus Glint. We've got Cassius Stint. I'm afraid it's Rastus Glint. So 3. Got it.
Yes, 2. I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Cupid Stunt.
And next
You
question.
know Cupid's going to make a few
Who
appearances
does
this
Tanya,
weekend.
quite the cheap suits. Who does Tanya most wish to kill? Is it A, Torvash Adari, B, Torvash Kapalis, C, Torvash Ganali, or Torvash Irina Chonta?
what about Torvash Bushbash?
You forgot Torvash
I nearly
Bushbash.
forgot Torvash Bushbash.
It's obviously the right answer. I think it's E, but I'm going to go for B.
Think about why.
Yeah.
Right, and we have a Ganali, we have a Pipalis, and we have a
Torvash! That's genius.
Well done. Well
You've
done.
got to give it
Yeah,
to
look at
him.
your glasses.
I need you to expand on that.
That's very good.
That's great.
Pip to his friends. He hasn't he? Actually. Up there, Pete. Ganali.
Hey, you're on
Torvash
fire.
Finale is the other party's nemesis, and she
And that's it.
tortured her father.
That's it for the questions for Tanya.
There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We certainly had a lot of fun when we got together in person, and the quizzes and some of the amusing answers and some of the jocularity that came in and around that was it was a lot of fun to be part of. You might be able to hear the GM kind of snorting just off screen if you listen closely. So as mentioned, well, as you've just watched, we do we've done a character quiz, a bit about one of the faces up on screen, but we do devote quite a lot of time in this game to getting to know the characters that are in play. And each week, before we play, I send out a list of questions to the players to mull over, have a bit of a think on, and then answer one of those questions, or perhaps share an image, or just provide something interesting about the character's past or present or thoughts or whatever. And tonight we're starting off with Anthony. Anthony, the microphone is yours.
Yeah, for Askel's question tonight, what's the most terrifying creature your character has fought? So for Askel, it was definitely when we were in the in-between some weeks ago, maybe a month and a bit ago. And we were, I guess, essentially being assaulted from both sides. We're in the first level of the complex. Probably got about 2 rooms in, if anything. And Askel was defending a doorway from this beast thing, which had long, sort of wrapping tentacle type whipping arms. And he didn't necessarily defeat it, but he managed to hold it at bay, defending in the door archway. So it was quite a effective tactic. But and that was his first sort of since coming in between, and then meeting these, whatever the heck these were. They're quite large, very ugly looking. So that was kind of quite scary, terrifying. You've got to defend, but I can't remember who actually took it out, but that was his moment. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. And that might have been just before we started recording, perhaps. So just as a heads up for viewers who don't already know, we're up to episode 160. This is episode 160. We started recording this game around episode, I think it was around 82. So there were 82 episodes of fun and adventure before we actually switched the record button. Marvellous. Thank you very much indeed. Askel's handler, who would you like to hear from, please?
Let's hear from Giles.
Giles.
Thanks, Anthony. So the question that Yotto is going to have a think about tonight is, how does your character view justice? So this is a question that Yotto's thought long and hard about. He's had a couple of rough things happen in his life. It's over a century old, so he had a bit of time to think about this. So he considers justice to be very important, possibly the most important thing in driving behaviour. And generally the basis, although he's a follower of Dio, I guess the basis of his concepts of justice would derive from sort of natural law and order, as opposed to social contract or some sort of God-divine right. And that basically fits with his religious thoughts with relationship to Dio. And as a kind of a framework for how that applies, I think he'd consider himself to be largely restorative in approach, that he's interested in thinking about supporting both the offenders and those who are wronged, with one notable exception, and that would be the people we are busy trying to follow and their leader. And in that particular case, justice without a shadow of a doubt is retributive justice, or in for a bit of retribution. So there's definitely something about punishing those particular wrongdoers very, very hard.
Give them a slap on the wrist with a wet bus ticket.
Yes, that takes the hit off. That would be about right. And on that note, it'd be good to hear from you, Pete.
Thank you. Sounds like a very well balanced view, especially regarding Torbash Palace. Understandable. Thank you. For Nicholas, question. I might do 2 questions for him because they relate to each other. What is the most clever plan your character has devised, and what's the most desperate gamble your character has taken? I have talked. Yeah. We'll go all that one, yeah, because was probably Nicholas's finest moment. I don't know. It was before recording, unfortunately, and it was by the grace of the GM, because there was some slightly indie rule bits, but it was. I think the quote was "rule of cool," so it was a pretty good thing. We were we'd gone to do a job for Severin's mum, on the island of Gaul in the jungle. We were trying to rescue a general from these blue skin sort of people, tribes people, and we'd snuck in. We'd snuck into the complex called O'Connor's Stand, and we found ourselves behind a secret door. Like, oh, we know what's on the other side. That's where the baddies are. That's the beginning of their base. And Nicholas sensed the presence of people on the other side, and then so this is the plan thing. And then he transferred himself into the body of one of those people. And as luck would have it, he appeared behind a very well guarded, in a guard's barracks, behind a very well guarded door. So that was a very good luck. And there was another man in that room. The very risky thing was Nicholas was only operating at 0.5%. And he managed to kill that other guard. He had huge bonuses. He was standing behind him and took him by surprise and everything. Because so far as the guard knew, the person in the room with him was just his friend. But it was actually Nicholas in that guy's body. So that was very risky, because if that had gone badly, Nicholas was only operating at 50%. I suppose the plan was he'd transfer straight back out. I don't know. But it managed to get us into this complex because Nicholas was able to unlock the door from the inside and also disable their alarm system. So they had a system of bell pulls to alert further into the fort, basically. So very risky, but it was fun.
You didn't quite finish that story off, Pete.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit grisly always.
But it is what happened.
Well, and it actually had to happen that way. So Nicholas had transferred the person who was in that body originally, his soul was transferred to Nicholas's body and wasn't active. What Nicholas then did was he had to basically take that person out. He did it by slitting his own wrists, which is a bit grisly. So he sort of did everything he needed to unlock the door and everything, then slit his own wrists and transferred himself back into his body, and therefore that guard's soul went back into his body just at the moment when he was bleeding out. So a bit grisly, not a nice thing, but entirely in keeping with Nicholas.
But the other risks as part of it was yes, the attack, and Nicholas's, you can see on screen with his image, yes, he's got a bow, but he ain't really a fighting kind of dude.
No way.
So yes, absolutely drawing a sword, and yes, even if the foe had their back to them, but it was still a really risky thing to do for Nicholas. The other really risky thing was, after doing that horrible action to the other person's body and then teleporting back, there was a roll that you had to make, basically a self-discipline roll, to see whether you freaked out or you panicked, and you miraculously, you managed to make it, but had you not, I don't quite know how we would have handled that, but I don't think it would have been good for Nicholas.
No. So he could have been stuck in that body as it died. Yeah.
Correct. And what would have that done to his psyche? Anyway, it was. GM, of course, is not allowed to play favourites in terms of his or her favourites session, but that would rank very highly as one of the ones that I found one of the most entertaining to tell the story on. It was a good session. Tragically, before we clicked the record button, but there we go. It's down and it's recorded now, at least the tail of it.
Yes.
Who would you like to hear from, please, Pete?
Can we please hear from Stara?
Oh gosh, wasn't Nicholas so brave? Wow. I think the most desperate gamble Jade has taken was just to use her quarterstaff, because she always thought it was useless, and that was just the other day. I couldn't believe it worked. So yeah, that felt really scary. And now I'll be using it all the time. So and Yotto, what your character said about justice, Jada thinks like that too, because she's religious. Mostly follows those religious sort of a thing. But when it comes to the enemy, it doesn't matter, because she figures she's fighting for everyone's freedom. So everything's... So, yeah. What is that saying? Anything goes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, is Graham still there? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Graham.
Hello. Right, yes, I play two characters. First of whom is Severin. To answer the same questions as Pete there, I think the one that we've been here before, but it still stands out. The attack on Twilia's apartment was quite meticulously planned, and probably between Severin and Nicholas, I think hammered out a lot of the detail on that, and it was a real kind of Ocean's 11, Mission Impossible plan. Sometimes something that as players we've attempted to do a few times, and very rarely it comes off. So it was gratifying that one kind of did. I mean, it was still tight, but it was, in terms of getting into the main characters nonchalantly getting into a very armored, guarded building without their weapons for a lunch appointment, knowing that they were walking into a trap where they were likely to be killed without mercy as soon as they got in there. Taking out the person who was taking them to the room, coordinating with a second party who were coming across the rooftops, one of whom took it upon themselves to just try out their tight-roping skill. Just for the hell of it, which could have ended badly, but didn't, thankfully, and then ending up dangling our weapons down from a rope to a pre-prepared position at a window for Nicholas to open a portal to grab the weapons into the building. So we were then armed to then bursting into the apartment and essentially lining up a shot for Tenya, which she hit and nearly got her in one. Seemingly, it didn't seem that far off. But then all characters really contributing to the whole. A ranger character called Bitterroot, who threw up a wood wall that effectively took out a lot of our adversaries in one go because they were locked behind it. And then our second group smashing in through some windows on the far side to take out a lot of the second half of the fighting force, or at least occupy them, while the party tried to deal with Twillia, and unfortunately she had time to cast these grotesque creatures that took out Grey, and actually he was unconscious on the floor. And then, having killed Twillia, taken the rings, the TTP rings that we were come in for, the fighting force still very active, a sort of daring escape on ropes, carrying Grey, smashing through windows, jumping down ropes. I mean, we were all in a pretty bad shape by the time we got to the ground, but it was pretty daring, and we did it. I guess it was one of those unusual times where a plan actually A-team style comes together. So yeah, it was unusual, I think, to say the least. But yeah, it was gratifying anyway.
And sadly again, before we were recording, and actually before either Stara, Anthony, or Giles was part of the team. But yes, it was a good session.
Yeah, it was interesting. Tenya, most frightful creature. I mean, when you're sort of reaching for sort of superlatives, the in-between sort of provides most of them, doesn't it? In terms of frightening and general sort of otherness. And the acid squirting creatures in combination that we encountered on the first level were tricky. And any creature that has the ability to basically just maim your character to the point of what's the point of going on is pretty harsh, like one squirt from these acid splashing creatures. And I mean, Etienne was a new character in the other party who at that point we were joined up with, newly rolled, in he goes, loses a hand. It's not great. Through acid damage. So that was she was pretty nervy about that whole structure, really. A lot was going on with walls tumbling down, tentacle creatures smashing through the walls, acid squirting creatures, some undead horror within. I mean, it was all going on, and I think we did the right thing to leave rather than lingering, because I don't think we'd have certainly made out in one piece had we have kept going. But she was pretty nervy about that, and I think in that instance with those creatures, it was very much leaning on those characters who could fight at a distance, and so she sort of felt a bit of responsibility there, but they kind of got through it in the end, mainly through spells and arrows, I think, from memory.
Nice one.
Anyway, yes, yeah.
Very good.
My lot.
Excellent, thank you. And the good news is at least part of that session in between was recorded. Marvelous. So, gentle viewer and gentle listener, that's the team. That's the 6 characters in play. You've just heard from the players of those characters, and there they are named upon screen. Now is the time that we turn to our scribe to provide a recap of what happened last time. And what happened last time for us was a long time ago. It's January 2025. We last played, I think it was around about the 18th or 19th of December 2024. So a number of weeks have gone past, and both Anthony and Stara, I think, had to leave early from the last game. So there's definitely Pete's go for gold when it comes to providing a recap, and very happy to fill in any gaps you may miss, and others please jump in. Pete, go for it.
Cool, thank you. So yes, we're in the alchemist sort of complex that's underground, and I'm trying to. We'd just finished sort of looting that treasure room basically, and we'd done a little bit of a tuning. And so the next session began after we'd had a night's sleep, and we were going, oh yes, our water is running out. We really ought to be getting out of this complex now. So the problem we had, of course, was there was the fire archway. So it was an archway which had summoned a fire guardian, across where the Arcus is pointing. So that was all flames, and we had a bit of difficulty getting through for the first on the way in. And so we were thinking how to get past that. No one had been successful on reading the rune to command it to stop. So that was our mission. We thought about where to try a portal. We tried a portal on the wall that sort of just near there. Wasn't successful. For whatever reason, the wall didn't go anywhere. So our solution was to lay the mirrors. There were some mirrors in the treasure room, and we laid them across the fire, the flames in the archway, and that created enough of a gap in the flames that it was now no longer a barrier, and we all leaved out. Used the spell leaving, which is a teleport spell. There we go. There are the mirrors that we laid down over the flames, a bit like how we got in, except we used bodies last time. And some people climbed through last time, which ended up getting quite badly burned. So we used leaving to teleport everyone through there, and we got out fine into the rest of the complex. We were carrying our loot with us, and we'd found a ring that had a symbol of a water carrier on it, and I believe that Yotto had attuned it. There she is. And we'd made that connection with the statue we'd seen. So knowing there was a secret door in this place, we decided we'd go and investigate that statue, because Yotto had tuned that ring, and he had discovered that it was a key, a powerful key to something, somewhere. So went back to the water carrying statue in the sort of the shrine room, and did a really good investigate. Yeah, there it is there. Fantastic. Had a really good look around on that statue and look around the whole of the room. And it was again Yotto who spotted on the bottom of, so she's carrying an urn or a jug. On the bottom of that was a place to insert the ring. We sort of took great precautions. We were worried the room was going to fill with water. We weren't sure quite what was going to happen. But once the ring was in, I believe that's all it required. And the statue sort of glided aside, rolled aside, magically moved aside, revealing a staircase beneath. So we were right in thinking there was an extra exit, which was fantastic. So we didn't have to go back through perhaps the spiders and all of that sort of thing. There's the sliding sound. Thank you very much. We went down, and we went down quite a wee way. Quite dusty, quite unused sort of corridor, and at some point came to a smashed. So there'd been this complex with a bit of ruins, and part of the tunnel we were in, this main sort of passageway, had one of these sort of the roof falling in sort of things, had exposed a secret passage parallel or next or adjoining this main corridor we were in. So we now have we had two passages to go down. One which was a secret passage that had been exposed in this main hallway. up the secret passage was as on screen. A part of that secret passage I don't know if it was a second rockfall or at some point, it had exposed one of these traps that Yotto had got caught in the treasure room hallway of these huge blades, and it's very it's quite obscured. So this passage only goes sort of one direction, I believe, and it's been completely sort of covered over, apart from a very narrow gap, which is not easy to access. It goes between these two blades, and I think Tanya explored it, and was going to be we have to revisit what the maneuvers are to get past. But that's up that passage is one option for us. Whilst we were in the corridor, also we sort of got a strange. Nicholas, I think, requested a vision, and I think he and Askell both perhaps had the same vision of because they've got this ability which gives them visions of a place or something or other, and he got a vision of a tall, sort of beautiful-looking man or people going down the main corridor and carrying sort of treasure and stuff there and coming back empty-handed. So we thought, oh, that's interesting. Also, I think was it Tanya who got a vibe off the place that was a bit strange. We got an odd sense, not necessarily bad, but powerful from continuing down the main corridor. So we went and explored that. And that came to a very unusual and quite interesting and actually really quite exciting sort of a room. And I think we saw a picture of it before. We're gonna have that.
Yes. So that, but before you entered the room, of course, something happened.
Oh, I don't recall that. What happened? True. We had the vibes and the. I'm sorry. Yes, people who had the comet symbols on exiting the in between, and I believe that's, thank you, Chris. Yeah, Askell, Tanya, and Jada had that comet symbol, which is somehow related to the in between. That's sort of on their palms of their hands or somewhere on their hands. It's sort of now for us. I think it's sort of from time to time it sort of flares up and it itches or aches. And it's something to do with the gods, something to do with the in-between and the light and the dark powers. I'm not entirely sure. But along with it, and I think is this the first time our party, the Twilight Party, has had these visions? No, it's not. We've had them before. My mistake.
One vision. This vision.
Right, we've had this one vision, but right. But yeah, Jada and Askell had this vision of these armies facing each other in a cold place. We or allies might be looking at this place. So this is very, I think, strong vision. So this is when we started to go back down in this Lords of Arcana ruin to this room at the end of the corridor. So something's going on there. Something's linking to our greater mission by going down this corridor, I guess, is what we can take from that. Yeah, an odd vibe from the main passage. In this room, the dais little thing in front of, so there's a very odd contraption at the back there, which has got sort of an interface with symbols on it, and then one main symbol above the door. The whole door thing it's a doorway, it's a portal. It goes the whole thing goes to the ground. There's a symbol above it, but also sort of interface with different symbols on it to the left. Yeah. And the same symbols on that interface thing on the portal are on that dais, which is actually a map, and it's in a bit of a bad state. There we go. It's had bits ruined in it, but we can see a couple of the symbols there. So there's 3 triangles. There's the 4 interlocking circles. There's the button. I think I can't see the 3 whole circles on it, or a little sun or star. So we made the connection that this is a map of perhaps the old world, and I think we did some geography checks, and no one was able to identify or recognize the landscape represented on this map. And that this is a portal, and that basically you select one of the symbols on the portal, and it'll take you to wherever that place is on the map. And I believe we did try that out. I think Askell tried it out, stuck Jada's staff in or something. Or I think we did stick our heads in, and I believe we came to another place. I can't quite remember. That's when memory's sort of fading out. But basically, that's where we are. We're in that room, I think, and we've got a choice between: do we go back and face the crawling through the blades to try and to get out, or do we choose a different place to go through on this portal device? The limiting factor basically is our water supply. By the end of the day, we will be starting to take negatives from not having water. Sorry, a lot of talking from me. That's it.
Excellent. Great job, Pete. Thank you. I can't quite remember. Maybe others can. I had thought Tanya had done a intuitions to see what would
That's
happen.
correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the information you got was looking into a similar-ish room, vaguely similar-ish room, and cold was the one thing that she got.
Yes.
Very good. Pete, as per usual, I think that's an excellent summary. A couple of comments from me, but before I do, any questions from anybody else or anything anybody would like to add in? Particularly questions from maybe either Anthony or Stara, who weren't at the tail end of the session. Anything that's not clear there, or yeah, please sing out.
No. Just roll with it.
Cool.
All good.
Okay. One thing on this. In this complex so far, there is the entry that you came in. There is the room that you're currently standing in, where we will start the game. This room here is described, very well described by Pete. And there is this other passageway that was previously hidden, but a rockfall has clearly demolished most of the concealed door. Pete, your question was about the space to wiggle through here. So to frame this up, it would be a hard maneuver to wiggle through for a normal-sized person. However, the damage, if you didn't make that maneuver and you slipped, for example, or you had difficulty trying to move your way through, and it is a very small space, and it's between a couple of blades. So you can see there are two blades on the screen. Both of them have ended up at a kind of an angle where they're both kind of inserted themselves into this very small space. If you failed the maneuver, you would likely be cut. However, the effects of the cut would be comparatively limited. What does that mean in game terms? You may get a critical, and these blades are particularly vicious, so it would be one of the most unpleasant critical tables in the game. The ripping, tearing critical table. Even just the name of it gives you the willies. It's a particularly nasty one. However, any critical would be limited to an A. So there's still a chance you can die on an A, but you'd have to be pretty unlucky. So you may cut yourself going through it, but it's unlikely. There'd be a minus. The minus on the attack would be. Sorry, how do I phrase this? Because the blades are not spinning or anything like what happens to Yotto when he went through, the attack would be relatively modest in its first instance, and then even if it did happen to score a critical on you, they would be limited to an A. So there is possibility of risk, but you are certainly not getting the full brunt, I should say, of a trap. Risk, but potentially manageable, should you choose to do that. Any other questions or comments? Anything that's not clear? Anything that people want to know?
I've got two. Can I just remind what time of the day it is? How much time have we got left?
You guys can't be sure, of course, but you would imagine you woke up after sleeping, you got through the flames kind of probably early-ish in the day. I'm going to say mid-morning, probably.
Thank you. We've got a bit of time. And we are sort of aware that water is our problem. There was a lake outside with the spiders, wasn't there?
There was, yeah.
Did we take note of if it was lovely, clear, crystal clear, uncontaminated water?
You didn't really go. Oh no, you did walk around it.
We walked right past it. Yeah.
Give me a memory check. I mean, you weren't looking actively at it. It was one. So today is the 16th. On the 14th, you walked. So 2 days ago, you walked down the Vale of Tears. You arrived at the woods around midday, and then you entered the complex on the 14th. You then slept 2 nights there, the night of the 14th, the night of the 15th, and today is the 16th.
If it has any bearing, I remember Tenya had a particular interest in the lake, and so did Severin, because he was wearing armor. So he was particularly worried about getting around it. So I think he would have given it a due look. And I remember that Tenya checked out the area before the party went there. If
So,
that has any bearing.
should I give me? We can get once we start the game. We can do a memory check if you like to remember. Okay. Any other questions? You pick another one.
Oh no, those were water and time.
Water and time. Cool. Anything else from anybody else? Is that clear? And again, particularly to both Askell and Jadar's handler. Nope. Okay. Going once. Going twice. If you're also sitting comfortably, let's start the game for 2025. Very good indeed. So look, this is where we are going to start. Just before we do, I'm just going to quickly run through, to refresh your memory, some of the items that you'd picked up. Going through them on screen. And I was saying before you joined, by the way, Graham, the GM has a slightly better and well-organized little spreadsheet to keep track of all the goodies a little bit better, I'm hoping. Some of the larger, bulkier items. Just as a reminder, you didn't take any of these, and you didn't take any of these, and you didn't take any of the ingots, I don't believe, or perhaps you did. That is exactly where we begin. We begin in this room as described. What do your characters do, please?
Well, Nicholas would like to do a memory check on the water in the lake.
Sure.
That's all right.
It was a day and a half ago. I'll give you a +10 to it.
Cool.
So
Am I wanting high or low?
So 50 or above.
Okay. So he rolled a 9.
Okay. What's his memory?
24.
Oh, hang on. And this is master, of course.
Oh, good.
Because you can't see your memory. Yep. +24.
Yep.
+10. Nicholas, you can't remember. You were just focusing on spiders and trees and not being stung, basically. And if you remember, it was quite an unnerving. I mean, the whole place was pretty unnerving. But also, you remember that Jadar nearly got snapped at the end. She was tail end Charlie, and it was all a little bit tense. So no, you don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Can Severin have a go?
Yeah, sure.
I know he was staring at it. He was because he was nervous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
29.
Could be very good. What's his bonus?
+7.
+7 for memory. Yeah, I mean, Severin, you were pretty focused on it because of your armor. It was hard to tell because the woods, these very unnatural trees that didn't really seem to fit the terrain. It was quite dark in there, if you may recall. It was quite dim, not dark, just certainly dim. Everything inside that wood, particularly in that area where the spiders were, just felt kind of rotten and wrong. The water was still. It was definitely swampy looking. Hard to tell because of the dim light kind of what color it was. It was not a fresh flowing mountain stream that was delicious to drink, was Severin's memory.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Might be drinkable.
Probably not, though. I wouldn't drink from it. I reckon it might be seeing if we can get past those blades and just. We know there was one secret passage that led out of the complex. Could there be a second? And if it did lead back into that very nice lush valley, great, right? There would probably be some water source we could find. What do we think?
Was there a lush valley?
The one we walked through was pretty large, had trees and what have you, didn't it?
I thought it was more arid. Well, my mistake, but
Oh, maybe not.
There was
there were
trees. Yeah. Because we talked about I think there's some cover we could have had in our app, but from memory for the.
But did we see sources of water in the canyon?
Don't recall that.
No.
Canyon without a river? Maybe. Seems unlikely, doesn't it? There must be a stream in there. If there's trees and there's a canyon, it's not going to be like a wadi.
There's definitely water at the farm, though.
Yeah. Oh, that far back. Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, well, because the other secret door doesn't come out in the canyon anyway. The other secret passage came out somewhere else, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Well, exactly. Or we risk it and go through the portal, but that we'll end up in another dungeon, much like the one we're in. I'm guessing, but
yeah. I think that I think we should use the portal at some point, but I think that once we're reprovisioned and yeah. A question, Chris, on a portal spell from Lofty Bridge. It says opens a portal in any solid surface through which anyone can pass. If Nicholas was to cast that on one of the blades, would that mean we could pass through the blades?
No, I mean, nice.
No.
To my mind, it's got to be a flat surface. It's got to be something that you can, go through. No.
Yep. No worries.
Nice try.
Worth asking. Yeah. So yeah, and we think. What about I think I've seen comments of covering. What would be like covering them up? Could we sort of mitigate any effects on us by draping or putting a breastplate or something over the blades?
You could try.
Would it? Yep. So I mean, on the sharp parts, just exactly where we'd have to squeeze past if we were to have people holding it or placing something on there. We could have a go at working that? Yeah.
You could try. Sure.
Well, what do others think? Do we want to go with that plan and try and go out the passage that we've got?
Feels like we're not really prepared to leap into an Arctic waste right now, or chance it. And as I say, if there's a similar something on the other end as to now, then and we've been into 2 Lords of Arcana buildings now like this. Feels like they'll both be subterranean, probably. So that would mean, are we ready to do that? And if we go back the way we came, we've got to get past spiders. So I think that there must be an ingenuitive way we can get past these blades, right? If they're static, as you say, a breastplate curved over the surface as somebody crawls through would seem to be. How could they be cut if the blade isn't moving?
Definitely not going to move.
Rocking backwards and forwards about the idea of crawling past those blades. I think you're probably pretty confident there was something covering them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if we could cover the blades, and then the most athletic person goes through, and then even the others could actually be dragged, right? So they wouldn't have any lateral movement.
No, people will. No way you can drag someone through. It's narrow. Someone would have to wiggle their way through. Hence the very hard maneuver. Can't drag someone through.
So what else have we got to take out this small space? I mean, Severan's done his small person trick today already, unfortunately.
What would it take to move the rubble, please?
About 50 years.
Okay. Because all I'm thinking is just okay. Yeah. So. Because if we go out this way, we'll probably want to come in this way to use the portal.
Yeah. For sure. So it'd be good if there was something.
From a technical perspective, Chris, if we cast float on someone, would that make the maneuver much easier?
No. As just mentioned, it's not just simply one easy point A to point B. You've got to wiggle through these blades. They're at different angles, but one's at the one angle, one's at the other. Floating would actually, if anything, make it harder to go through.
You have to push off stuff. You don't want to be pushing off the blade, I guess. Yeah, and for the same reason, we can't leave through because it's not a straight line.
Correct.
Yep.
If we're going to do it, let's just go do it. I mean, I think you're right, Graham. I think jumping into the unknown isn't going to solve the water problem, is it?
The fact it's a secret passage means it's clearly of significance, as long as the ceiling hasn't caved in on it.
Yeah.
If we go past the blades down the secret passage, of course, there's one trap in the secret passage.
If we're going to do that, we should send someone into it and through it and down it to see where it's going, and then bring it. That person should report back.
True.
Presumably. And that person won't be Yotto.
Anyone volunteering?
Is there someone who'd do it? That's right.
Yeah, Escal will do it.
Woohoo!
We'll take one or several for the team.
Oh, you didn't take 5 that kill you, so you'll be good, bro. You'll be good.
There you go.
We're going to do that, guys? I think we should.
Yep, I reckon.
Okay.
If Escal's right with that.
Well, we'll try the breastplate thing, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So,
or whatever section of armor.
Describe what you do, please.
All right, Severin will take his breastplate off, or rather, what does it better suit? Would it suit a greave, a shield? What would?
It's the big blades. So the longest piece of metal that you have, which would be your breastplate, would be the way to go.
Yeah, so he'll do that, and then he'll sort of put it up against the blade, hold it.
Yep.
And so that when Escal goes through, if he does touch it, he'll be touching touching a bit of metal. I don't know where the second blade is, but it might help with the first, I guess.
Yeah. So that would reduce the maneuver. It would take its. There's still a risk of Escal being cut, but with somebody actively putting metal over at least part of one blade, I'd give you a. I'm still going to say it's a hard maneuver, but I'll give you a +10 to the maneuver because part of the blade, a +15 to the maneuver because part of the blade is obscured by the breastplate, and as you correctly say, you can't cut through steel. Escal, any preparations from yourself, please?
So, if he was to cast a shield spell, is a shield going to be too cumbersome?
Can you, as I always ask, read out the description of the spell, please?
Creates an invisible full shield in front of the caster. It subtracts 25 from melee and missile attacks and functions as a normal shield.
So that last line, functions as a normal shield, I would say trying to take a shield through here to protect yourself is not going to work, and it wouldn't work with a magical one, I'm afraid.
Right, too cumbersome. Okay.
Too cumbersome. Now, just on this, by the way, this is, and maybe I should have been clearer about the risk. This is not an all or nothing maneuver. If you fail the maneuver, you can just slowly inch your way through. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you.
I guess you're.
So you your chance of getting an attack is really down to you got to roll a negative 25, and then you get an attack on you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yota was also a warrior mage. He also has combat enhancements, so would know, having had a chat to Askell, and would chat to him about blur, Chris. And essentially all blur does is increases your DB, right?
Yes.
So if he was unlucky and got hit, would that then reduce the? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
it's against an opponent being able to see you. Cool. What happens?
We'll get through fine.
Yeah. Can I end the story?
Hey!
Just touch and go.
Okay, so Askell, tell me what happens. Tell me what you do.
Yeah, I guess, we'll have one side, we'll have the breastplate against one blade.
Yep.
And then he'll just be trying to be as careful and as steady as possible. Like, sure. So not tiptoes or wobbly or anything like that, just trying to be, as he sort of tries to maneuver his way through the blades.
So this is a hard maneuver. If you're in armor, give me a roll using your armor skill.
Sorry, just one question before we jump in, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
We have left the statue back in the other room open.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do that?
Oh, I think we want to close it.
Yeah, just a thought before we go through here. It might be worth... The only thing is I don't know with a ring, if you can open it from the other side. That's the only thing. That would be the risk.
It's not clear to me. How do you close it?
Well, we don't know, but I imagine if you took the ring out, you left the ring in it. So I imagine if you took the ring out, it would probably slide back into place. That's a guess. But I don't know how you'd open it from the other side, if at all.
Oh, I didn't realise you left the ring in it. Is that okay?
Oh, well, I assume so, Chris.
I think he took the ring with him.
Oh, okay, all right.
In which case, while they're doing that, Yoto was very happy to wander back up and perceive and look and see if there's any way he can put the ring in to do the same thing.
By himself?
To close. Well, no, he'd go with someone by preference. Nicholas, fancy a walk?
Well, Nicholas wanted to see how long Askell was intending to go explore on the other side of the blades. If it's not a long time, then Nicholas will go for a walk with Yotto. If it's over an hour, Nicholas was going to attune an item whilst waiting.
Very
What's
sensible.
the thinking?
Better he attunes. Tanya will go.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay. All right. Great. So several actions there. Askell.
Okay.
This is a moving maneuver based on your moving and armor skill. If you're not wearing armor, use your agility.
Okay. 43
23. Cool.
plus 4.
Plus 4. Plus 15 because the breastplate is covering things up. Yeah, I mean, you're wiggling your way through and you make some progress. These jagged, nasty chunks of steel are uncomfortably close to your face. At one point, you're going past it and it just kind of grazes your nose just slightly on the other one that's not obscured. And of course, the breastplate doesn't entirely cover all of the blade. It covers most of it, and it certainly helps a lot. You're 30% of the way through, Askell. Give me another roll.
Okay. $97.
Roll again.
$69.
69 plus 4 plus 15. 185. Excellent move.
I got cocky, didn't I?
You are in stuns. You allow add plus 10 to allies' rolls for 2 rounds. That, Askell, was absolutely and utterly Superb. You're through. Out the other side. It was easy. What's really worried
Yeah.
about? No problem at all. You're out.
Full on Superman pose at the end.
What was your bonus?
Plus 10 to everyone else's attempt.
Oh, brilliant. Well done.
For two rounds, though.
2 rounds.
Can Severin go next? Because he's really crap moving in armour.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Well, I'm asking the team.
Is he wearing armour now? Because he's taking his breastplate off, I guess.
Well, he has, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Can someone hold his breastplate? He's just a bit shit otherwise. But he's still got the rest of his armour on. Or how do we play that, Chris?
He's an 18, correct?
Yeah.
So the majority of his armor is his breastplate. So I would make him as not in armor.
Oh. Okay.
There you go.
That's slightly different then. So does that mean it'll buff his agility?
Correct.
Okay. That's slightly better then. Okay. Well, who wants to go next? What's everybody else's move in armor?
Nicholas is 14.
Okay, same as Severin. Anyone else? Jada?
Where do I find that?
She should be all agility. She's not wearing anything.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think you're wearing armor. What's your plus agility?
Plus 18.
Oh, right. Go to the back then. How about then Nicholas and Severin go and take that plus 10? How does that sit with everyone?
That's a good idea. And also,
Yep.
Yotto and Tanya aren't there, right?
No.
Correct. Okay. Who's next?
Well, I'll go.
Well, hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Can we say go off and do a bit of a look-see on his own? Or does the plus 10 stay if he does that, Chris, or does it have to be used straight away? How does that work?
It's got to be within the next 20 seconds, and I'm kind of being generous saying I'm allowing the next roll because probably there would be some debate. So because I am such a magnanimous,
Go, Severin.
kind, good-looking,
All right.
modest GM.
9.
You rolled,
9.
You rolled a 9.
Yeah.
9. What's plus what?
14.
Plus 14. Plus 15. Plus 10 is a total of 48. Not amazing progress, Severin, but certainly not a failure. 20% of the way through. Again, like Askell, some of the blades uncomfortably close to you, but you're okay. Give me another roll, please, and this will be the last of that plus 10. It's the next.
96.
Nice, roll again.
84.
Holy shit. 84 plus 14 plus 15 plus 10. 219. Move inspires your allies. Plus 20 for friendly rolls for 3 rounds. This is far too easy for you.
I think it's easy, but no.
Absolutely, that was a skill success.
All right.
Nice work, Severin. I mean, this was just easy. Why were you guys even fretting about it? You wiggle your way through. You're fine. You're in your greaves, your arm greaves and your leg greaves. Your breastplate is trusty breastplate, which has saved you so many times, is still being used. But that was easy. Who's next?
Nicholas can go.
Sure.
Please.
With a plus 20 to the roll.
Thank you very much. Inspiring. He rolled a 74.
74. That's pretty good. Plus a 14.
Correct.
Plus 10. Plus 10, plus 10. Plus 15. 1, 2, 3 was the final result. Nicholas, you're nearly through. You're 90% of the way through. Yeah, you wiggled through pretty well. Give me a roll for the next round. You get plus 20 to this.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep.
47.
47 plus 20 plus the 15 plus 14. That should be more than enough. Nicholas, you're through as well.
Thank you very much. Sorry to not pass on the bonuses.
Yeah, come on. Pass it on. Mind you,
Don't let the team down.
still around, Jada. They're still around. I don't know what was so inspiring. Was it just the wiggle of his bum or something? What was it?
Your booty wiggling was massively inspiring. It inspired all of your allies with your gluteus maximus shuffle as you went through the deadly blades on screen.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, I think that deserves another. What else have I got? What else have I got? I got this. It's one butt cheek and that was the second butt cheek. Very good. What happens now?
Come on, Jada. Get that bonus.
All right, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Hard maneuver.
Oh, 9.
9. That's what seven rolls. 9 plus 20 plus 15 plus, I think you said 18 for her agility.
Agility plus 18, yeah.
Very similar. 30% of the way through. That probably makes a bit more sense because Jadar is a very, very, very large person. Probably should have been a little bit harder for Jadar, but I didn't say it. Next roll, please, Jadar, and you no longer get the plus 20 on this.
Mm-hmm. Can't get as low as a 9. 12.
12 plus 15 plus 18. 20%. You're 50% of the way through these horrible blades, Jadar, and kind of makes a little bit more sense that it's harder for you. You are very tall. Very, very tall. You're halfway through. Thus far, you're safe. Give me another roll, please.
54.
54 plus 18 plus 15 is 87. That's what you needed. 50%. Jada.
Yay!
You are out the other. You are out the other side as well. Nice work.
Phew.
For Tanya and Yotto, you head back up. It does take a while to walk back up the stairs. If you remember, they were quite steep and quite narrow and certainly quite decayed. You take your time, you get back to the top, and then, yes, you see the flickering lights, probably of the dying. Oh, that's probably actually gone. That would have gone out quite some time ago. So presumably you took some of your own light, and you've come up to where this statue has moved. Over here. And you've come up to here. What do you do?
Well, as we get to the other side, start perceiving for similar little holes. Having seen the one at the other end, we might expect to see one at this end.
Sure.
That might take a ring or any devices or anything like that.
Sure. Done. Okay. Give me a masked perception roll, both if you're wanting to. Happy for. Sorry.
66.
66 could be very good, very bad, and I'm
plus.
Yep.
85.
5. Cool. Okay. And Yotto, what was yours?
10.
10 plus.
His general perception is 54.
Cool. Yeah, possibly because you were both looking for it, you both spot it at the same time. Just as you come up to, this is a very, very small landing. It would be maybe 4 foot by, well, maybe a little bit lighter, 5 foot by 5 foot, before the flight of stairs then up into this room here. There's a panel by that next flight up that brings you up into this room. You weren't really looking on the way down. You were too curious to see what was down below. But yes, indeed, there is a very similar, identical slot that would resemble exactly where you were able to place this ring, right by the door.
let's rinse and repeat, eh? So Yoda would check with Tanya, but I think the idea would be to place the ring, hope that the statue closed, and then remove the ring again. We've got light with us, I presume.
Yes, you wouldn't be able to see it otherwise. Yes, it's pitch black in
Yeah,
here.
we've got a torch.
So we that's what we'll do, Chris.
Cool.
Essentially, we're trying to close the statue door.
Okay. Anything else you do that I should be aware of?
I think we're going to do this. Yotta would probably stand to one side, look around, see if there's any holes for blades. He's a bit angsty pants about all of this sort of stuff.
Mhm.
He's not really expecting to see any of this stuff. Just make sure that there's nothing that looks scary.
Okay.
He's had a scary experience here.
Give me a detect traps roll. What was the roll? Hello?
Can you get me, Chris?
Yes, can hear you now.
It's 1. He rolled a 1.
Just
No,
as,
I don't want to.
just as well this is masked.
Oh, thank goodness.
What is his detect traps, please?
Just looking. And if he doesn't have detect traps?
I think we said it was half perception. Half perception.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to have to use half perception,
That which is.
which will be 28.
Cool. You don't see anything. Don't see anything unusual.
You can ask if you're worried, Giles.
Oh, I definitely want Tanya to do the same. Absolutely. He'd be sherry.
Okay.
He'd absolutely want Tanya to have a jolly good look around. Just we're not obviously running the risk of putting us into it.
An 8, just as well as masked.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some big old rolls going on here.
Yeah, you do. Plus.
Her detect traps is 57.
It's more like it.
You don't spot anything either.
Right.
We're here for the reason. Let's do it. Ring in. See what happens.
Put the ring in. And the statue slides back over. You notice as you do that, and you saw it the first time around, there was this wash of energy that seemed to come out of the. You don't know whether it was an illusion or what, but something that came out of the ewer. It almost looked like something was coming out and spreading, if you remember the description. And it was that kind of, once that hit the ground, then the statue rolled, and it's that in reverse. You're obviously down, so you don't see the ewer itself or the vase or whatever it is, but you do see kind of some energy or some light or something from above, and then it's pitch black, other than the torch you're carrying.
Can I just check you're feeling okay, Chris? No lightning bolts, no lasers, no spinning wheels. And then I guess Yotta would turn to Tanya and suggest they go back and join their colleagues again. Which is what we'll do, I presume.
Cool, done. You head back down. Now, Askell, you were planning on heading on alone?
No, I will wait.
Okay. Everybody is through. You've passed, assumably passed possessions through, apart from these last two characters, Tanya and Yoto.
Can we keep the breastplate there?
Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll have a crack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hang on. 59.
59. Cool. 59.
Soft leather is plus 22.
Plus 15 because the breastplate's assisting a bit. Yeah, you wiggle your way through 60%, Tanya. More than halfway there.
Do we have to tie something to the breastplate so we can drag it through?
Yeah, oh. Good point, actually. So, damn, I should have told you this. I hadn't thought it through in my head, and I should have made it clearer. One person is going to have to go through without the breastplate.
Yotto's not doing that.
Yotto's not doing that?
No way.
Okay.
He'll sit there and wait for them all to go off and someone to come back. Probably rocking quietly.
Pardon me, that's a GM's mistake. I'm happy to keep that result for Tanya's roll minus 15, if you, which would give you an 81, Graham, which would give you a 50% rather than 60%.
Yeah, I'm happy if he wants to go first.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, Yosso, how are you feeling about this, buddy?
Slightly anxious.
Okay.
Slightly anxious. But,
Yep.
Predator Dio, steady the nerves.
Cool.
He's a skinny guy.
Cool. Here's a skinny guy. Give me a roll.
He'd obviously thanks everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Then proceed to roll a 17.
17. Love that. What's his agility, please?
Plus 13.
Plus 13. That is a total of 45. Yotto, you make 20% of the way through. You're nervous, you're sweating, you've been in this uncomfortably close to blades similar to these, although the other ones were probably more magical than these ones. Give me another roll. For the remaining 80%, you still need to scramble through.
16.
16 plus 15 plus what was his bonus again?
13.
Plus 13. 44, same result. 20%.
Yeah.
So he's at 40% of the way through.
Uh, 17. That's the same number.
It's the same number. You're at 60%. Next one.
Come on. Oh, 94. That's more like it.
94 plus 15 plus 13. Yeah. So you were very, very tentative on your initial moves there, Yotto. But you know, partway through, you kind of your gumption gets up. You scramble through, and you're out the other side.
Another quick Predator Dio and another thank you back to Tanya.
Nice.
Could have got another one, and then you'd have inspired them.
Yes.
Obviously, you've got a saggy old ass. That's what I can say.
No wiggle going on here.
Yeah.
Tanya, you're on 50% with that roll. This is without the benefit of a 15% helping breastplate. Give me a roll, please.
71.
That's a good roll. Plus, what's your bonus?
22.
22. That's good. Tanya, you are through. Everybody, please mark down hard maneuvers for each time you rolled the dice going through that small space. Juicy, juicy, juicy XP.
100 XP per hard maneuver, I believe.
Nice. Each time you roll the dice, it's a risk. You get the reward.
Let's go back and do it again.
Maybe we'll get to the end of the corridor and then go back and do it again.
What do you do?
Well, we've got a line, right?
Well,
Just
let's
keep the line
get the
on.
then we've got the lights. We've got the I think Severin's sword's probably still in action, so shine it down the corridor.
Who's got
Can
the
I
best
just-
stalking hide or detect
Okay,
traps?
Can I just sort of check before we do? Nicholas, after making it through, he would have had a go at attunement, but I don't want to take an hour to do it. So if Haskell and Tanya and Yotto going and closing and coming back is less than an hour, he won't do a full attunement, if that's okay. What's the time? What's their timing, please?
It is less than a full hour.
Okay, cool. Oh, he won't. I don't think we should hold up. Sorry. Back to the question of who's got detect trap.
So whomever's got
I
detect
do.
trap should go first, right?
I don't.
Detect traps. Did you say?
Well, either that or stalk and hide. What would be the best thing to do moving up here? Because we just want to do it carefully, right?
Yeah, well, Tanya's happy to go ahead if you like, but she still needs. Well, it's not much point because we need light. So it's. I mean, she's happy to take lead and detect traps. Certainly, there's not much point. I mean, she can stalk, but
Oh, yes, no.
there'll be a light source going down the corridor. So
Yeah, it's detect traps we want. You're absolutely right. Apologies.
yeah, sure. Well, I guess we'll proceed on, and she'll be looking particularly at the floor. She's just seen those blades. Thought that's quite nasty. Would hate to come across something similar.
Do we need a light source, or is that what you're saying?
Well, we have a lantern, a torch, and I'm just checking Severin's sword as to how long that lasts. Casts light. 50 feet beam of light from blade. Once per day. Nobody has a book on their person, do they?
Yeah, is it projected light?
Yeah.
It's probably 1 minute per level, I think. I'm just having a look in the magician lists now.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, just be a moment.
Yeah, projected light law is just duration 10 minutes per level. Range 25 feet. Beam of light like a flashlight springs from the caster's palm. 50-foot effective range.
So that's 100 minutes. Is that still active, Chris?
I can't remember when you turned that on. Was it before you went down into underneath the statue, or at what stage?
I think it was after we got to this secret passage and we continued down to the thing.
You've spent a lot of time debating and discussing in game time, in real time, which equates to debating and discussing in real time. I would say, and more than an hour. So I'm going to say that spell is now finished.
Oh yeah, I got 100 minutes.
Yes.
So Eskel's happy. He can cast projected. If we feel we need another light source, he's happy to cast a spell.
Well, I can always light another torch if we need. We do have other torches. But from the torch and the lantern, what kind of light? I mean, it's confined space. How are we looking?
There's a lot of shadows, and a lot of things can be hidden in shadows. It's not great, but it's probably the best you got.
All right. We'll light another torch then. Does that help?
Yeah.
No.
Just creates more shadows, really.
So it's only like 1 power point for Eskel to do projected light.
Okay. You'd have
he's pretty high.
Detect traps?
No, he's got disarm trap, not detect traps.
They're the same thing, actually.
They are.
Okay. That's right. We did combine them.
What's the?
So he's plus 20.
Okay. Well, I guess you could do so as well. Yeah, up to you. I mean, I guess the actual help in some sense, even if Tenny's in front of you.
Yeah, he's happy just to cast that spell.
Okay.
Yep. We'll need to do transcend armor.
Mm-hmm. Give me a roll.
He's plus 75 because he's leveled up. So that was, what's that?
He's got to roll 101 or better.
Yeah, so total would be 119.
119, he's fine. Yeah. Transcend armor, all good.
And then the actual spell itself. 69.
69.
Double for tonight. Done that twice tonight.
Yeah, nice. The spell goes off.
Cool. Some sort of lightsaber sound effect, Chris.
Do I have one? Just out of interest, just for fun. Sadly not. Cool. Okay. Lights out in front of you. Askel's going first? Is that right?
I think Grammy and Tanya was going to go first.
Okay.
Does the light casting from the palm, if Askel shines it around the walls, does that help Tanya?
I mean, you're walking down a confined space with torchlight flickering, and it's you're trying to illuminate spaces, but there are always going to be shadows and things you miss. But yeah, I mean, that's as helpful as anything.
All right. Well, I guess she's got the higher percentage, so it probably makes sense, right? But if Askel checks too, great.
Yeah.
Should I roll?
Roll.
19.
19. It is, of course, mast. Okay. And what's her skill?
Detect traps. 57.
Cool. Yeah, you head on down the passageway. I'll describe a bit what you do, and I'm usually a bit leery about kind of doubling up. I feel it's kind of gaming it, particularly in a room. I'll say in a narrow tunnel like this. I'm happy for a couple of people to detect traps. So yeah, if Askel wants to make a go as well, give me a roll.
He was 93 plus 20.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so you set off. You're using the light sources as best you can. You can hear the flickering of the torches behind you. You continue down this tunnel, and if you recall, it does turn a number of bends, and it's after a while it begins to climb, and it begins to climb quite dramatically. However, just before it does, Askel and Tanya, you find something. To be fair, all of you find something. In front of you, across the tunnel. The tunnel's about maybe about 9-10 foot high, relatively narrow. It's only about 5 foot wide, quite claustrophobic, carved through this kind of yellowish stone that you're now quite familiar with. However, before it starts rising up, the tunnel starts rising up, it broadens out. The tunnel broadens out. It'll be about 15 foot across. And very clearly, there's been another rockfall. This time, your way is not obscured, but the rockfall has collapsed and brought down a chunk of the ceiling, and it has smashed into what looks like had been concealed a pit trap. Down to about 30 foot below, and some very, very, very unpleasant spikes. Enough of the rubble has come down, a sizable part of the rubble has come down, and you're able to scramble across without any required maneuvers, but clearly people have not been welcome to come in this way. That is the second deadly device that you've come across that has been deactivated. At that point, you start going up, and quite steep, and you walk for quite a while. Again, the tunnel would be roughly the same dimensions, 9 or so foot high, generally 5 foot wide. Sometimes it broadens out a little bit, and there are places to pass. Places that are a little bit wider, but generally it's quite narrow. And a lot of steps, but also in places there are no steps, and it is just simply a slope, and what appears to be a natural slope that you're walking up. There are places where this tunnel that you're going through has clearly been worked, and there are places where there is worked stone. There are other places, however, you bypass which is just natural rock, so a mixture of work stone and natural rock. And you continue on for a long time.
Can I ask something, Chris? Tanya's also just if she notices any tracks, happy to roll it. But
yeah, give me a roll.
17. Tracking plus 80.
Yeah, a little bit later on, she spots what she would say are lizard tracks, quite small lizards, and perhaps small rodents, relatively old by the looks of it, weeks or months old, but nothing else. Certainly no humanoid prints that she can see. You continue on, and you've been walking for a long time, and I would like one more roll, please, for both Askell and Tanya.
I feel this could be crucial. 36 plus 57.
Escal 83. Oh god, what is he? He is plus 37.
Sorry, what was Askell's roll?
83, and then plus 37.
Cool. So you're walking on ahead, and you've come to a place in the last 10 or 15, maybe last 20 or so minutes. The incline has evened out occasionally, and you'll be going along the flat, and then it's gone up again, and then it's gone along the flat. Increasingly, you're walking through unworked stone, so you're not walking through mason stone. You're walking through a natural passageway. And on one of these flatter pieces later on, Tanya, you're watching ahead, and you're scouring the ground, and you step over, and then something about it, your spidey senses are tingling or something. You whip back round, and you see Askell, and his foot is about to come down, and you absolutely know he shouldn't put his foot there. And you actually shove him. Askell, you stumble back a little bit. And Tanya, there. And on the ground, you're pretty convinced, Tanya, in a natural part of a natural passage, so in other words, unworked stone, so you can see on the walls there are stone flags, etc. There is you don't know how you saw it, and you don't know what happened, whether or not you instinctively saw it and was processing it, and you yourself stepped over it, and then your brain was processing what it saw, and you spun, and your instinct spun fast enough to push Askell away from danger. But yes, on the ground, they're covering the tunnel. There is just this natural tunnel. It's just the very, 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 very faint outline of a section of rock, a plate, perhaps. Looks like rock. Easily able to be stepped over. And Askell was right about to put his foot on it. And you rolled a 36, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair to say that was in the 90s.
Pew. Pew.
Pew, all right.
So obviously, Tanya will go overboard in describing exactly what she's seeing and where it is.
Mm-hmm.
She will also, without taking a step further forward, pivot and with a light source, give the road ahead an equally thorough look before she takes another step.
Sure thing. Give me a perception roll, please. Or... Yep.
41.
Mm-hmm.
If it is perception, great, because she's higher on that.
Mm-hmm.
85. If it's detect traps, 57.
I'll use that. Okay. Yeah. Up in the ceiling and in the floors, not immediately around that area. Now she's looking really, really hard. There are small, you can see the GM, very small holes, about that big. A lot of them. They've been very, very, very cunningly fashioned to make it look as though they're part of this natural living rock. But the more she looks, the more holes she sees. She might have seen, in a glance, at least 30 or 40, covering both directly around the plate that Askell kind of had his foot over, but also further down the corridor in front of her and also behind her, back where her companions are coming.
And she doesn't see any evidence of a further plate.
She doesn't.
Right. Well, she'll point these out to everyone vocally and point them out with a torch. Suggest nobody moves just yet. And yeah, again, be really over officious in explaining exactly where the plate is.
Mm-hmm.
And if she needs to put something down, like a little
on the
pebble.
plate.
No.
Oh.
Next, before the plate, the bit that they need to step over, and Askell could do the same on the other side, so people are really clear over what they need to step over.
Nicholas has got chalk if she'd like it.
Love a bit of chalk, thank you. So she'll do a little cave drawing, and then very cautiously, cautiously re-examine the floor in front of her in case she's missed anything else, and then move forward once she's sufficiently happy that there's no other plates or tripwires or something else, and to leave room for people to pass.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything I should be aware of?
Keeping bloody still.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I guess once she's moved forward and where there's room, can people comfortably step over this thing?
Yes, they can. They can. She did.
Okay. Is it worth just checking that we're not currently on a plate as we speak? Askell could maybe check behind you, just check people's feet, just check there's nothing else that...
Yeah, we use his light to help check for everyone's footing.
Okay, give me a roll.
You want me to roll? That,
yeah, and I'll give you, based on new information, I'd ask for another roll.
Okay. You got a 45. Now what's he doing? Just perception or?
Kind of a bit of both. So what's his perception and what's his detect traps, and I'll kind of come to something in the middle.
All right, he is plus 37 for perception and plus 20 for detect traps.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's what I needed. Yeah, you don't see anything, Askell.
Okay.
Okay, so people are stepping over, is that right?
Yep. And once they've stepped over, Tanya will very carefully go forward again, searching all around her, proceeding really cautiously.
Okay, cool. You duly do so. Okay, you continue on for quite some way, and again, the the terrain keeps going up. And you've been walking for a long time now, all heartily sick of this tunnel. And it really is feeling quite claustrophobic and quite, it's just, you really want to get out of here. And just when Tanya's getting particularly fed up, and every step she's putting down is, could it be her last? Suddenly,
Can I add something, Chris?
just a second, please. Oh, for God's sake. Not suddenly, because my software's decided to. Yep. What we gonna add?
Just based on that last trap where it was clear that perhaps not whoever stepped on that plate might have been nailed, but the person quite near might be nailed. She may as well go ahead of the party slightly.
Yep. Sure. Cool. Wind. Fresh air. Not a lot of it. And the sounds of birds outside. And you can see, just when she gets to a corner, light. Not a lot of it, but daylight. You'll be walking for a long time, hours at this stage, by the way.
I think she's probably expecting one last trap at the entrance, so she'll be especially cautious.
Okay. Another roll.
$43. Plus 57.
Cool. She doesn't see anything.
She allowed to ask for a second opinion?
Yep, I guess.
That's cool.
Wait, we have another look as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got a 19.
Well, 19s tonight. Cool, plus that. Yeah, you both are pretty confident there's nothing here.
Okay.
In that case, Tanya will just say to, or whisper to Askell, I'm just going to sneak on ahead, just in case there's anything, things live in caves.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to sneak forward really cautiously. I think she'll probably maybe put an arrow on her bow if there's room, and she'll creep forward. She's looking in all the shadows, and she's looking to stick to the shadows, and just looking around for ceiling too. Could be bats, could be animals, could be anything like that. She's looking, smelling, using all the senses.
Give me. You wanted a stalk roll?
Please.
Yeah, give me a roll.
10.
10. Rolling low tonight.
Oh, good, isn't it? 159.
Okay. She does crunch some gravel as she moves forward. She's not utterly silent, as silent as she'd like to be. I'll take that last perception roll, the last detect tracks roll as perception. You turn a corner, Tanya, and the light is very, very bright. And you can see the remains of what was a stone door. A good chunk of it still remains, but the bottom half, and it's large, it would be maybe 10 foot by about 5 foot. The bottom 1/3 has been kind of smashed away. Part of the top has come in as well. It's been very, very, very cunningly hidden. easy for you to scramble through. And coming out, just before you come to the door, you do disturb some animals. You disturb some lizards quite some reasonably big lizards that scamper away at your approach. A few scorpions as well. You definitely see a few scorpions. But yes, daylight. So there's no actual cave per se. This tunnel comes out into a very, very extremely shallow cave. Basically, just looks like a natural scrape was probably a better description. From what you can see, at least from the inside, it looks like the door has been very, very cleverly hidden, but smashed a very long time ago, or partially smashed.
What does she see outside?
She does go outside.
Oh, okay. Yep. She'll have a little peek out through first and listen and see what she can see.
Sure. She is somewhere up, very, very, very high up. You can see up by my cursor, maybe up here, there's kind of a sliver of rock, and she has come out on a scree slope. It's a bit like this. And yeah, and then there's just sheer rock behind her, and what looks like some scree slope and a bit of a clearer way further down. But she's very, very, very high up.
Can she see a way down from a vantage point without stepping out?
Give me a perception roll, please.
+18 +85.
A way down? Maybe. Definitely directly behind you, there is no way down. It is sheer stone. So you've come out on something that looks like that, and if you imagine that jagged wall behind you goes straight up. Down this way, further down into the valley, yes, the scree slope stops for a bit, and there's a sheer precipice just down here where you can see hopefully you can see my cursor, down here. And then down this way, there is a very steep gap that you think might be a way down.
Can she see any wyverns?
She can't.
You didn't mention that. Yeah, and can she has a good view of the valley from there?
Yeah, she would be something like up there. You do have a good view of the valley, and you think, you can't be certain, but you think that around the next corner, or possibly the corner after that, maybe 2 or 3 more, you think you'd be getting close to Odana Farm. You're absolutely much, much, much closer at this end to Odana Farm than you are to that sinister wood on the other end.
Bonus. Can I see a river?
No.
Right. All right. She'll pop back and tell the others what she's seen. And she said, well, there's a steep scramble down. We seem to be near to the farm, but as always, we're going to be in exposed ground, high up. We know there are wyverns around. What's the plan?
GM's going to head to the and get a drink. Back in a sec.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
What's the wyvern? What wyvern protection measures can we take? Look up, I think, is a good one.
Yeah, early warning.
And presumably wyverns go for shiny things, so Severin's probably a good protection mechanism for the rest of the party. On
Right, did you say?
I think you're thinking of dragons. But
yes, that's the other word for it.
I think at some point, just it would be good for us to stop to take notes of where this door is as well.
yeah, I was going to say that absolutely.
Once we're undercover and everything, I'm just
Is it
Well-
whereabouts is it on this map? Is it sort of halfway up one of these super steep slopes? It's not at the very top of it.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be a way to scramble down, I'm sure. It's more. I wonder whether we should mark the top in some way.
A good idea. The other thing I was thinking about is why would these Lords of Arcana have these little tunnels? I mean, they have to be big enough for them to get through, presumably, and then have to be big enough for there to be a down passage for them, right? Or else it's all a bit useless.
Oh, I think the description was that they sort of are big enough for them, isn't it? Just. But
Okay.
yeah, good point. Good point.
Um,
Let's double check that, actually.
Yeah.
But I suppose in some other sort of, what you see in activity, buildings or whatever, they sometimes have smaller escape routes. So enough for them to still maybe hunch and scramble through, but without making a full-on, this is a comfortable stroll out the door.
Yeah, but when they get spat out, there's going to need to be a path to go somewhere, right? Unless these Lords of Arcana are flying beings, which I'm under the impression they are.
So what?
Given how you go, Graham.
No, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, given how old that facility would have been, it may have had something in over time. It's just worn down. There may have been tracks or path. Yeah.
True.
What about what have we got to mark the rock face?
Sure.
Nicholas has got some chalk.
I've heard about this. Actually, I think maybe what colour is it? Pink.
Oh, whatever you want. I hadn't noticed the colour. I think, but it's not permanent enough. I'm just being silly. What would we want?
Blood. Someone will have to die.
Well, what's the plan? I mean, we go and restock on provisions and water,
Yes.
and then do we go back in? Is that the idea?
Well,
From here, or do we all go? Do we always go? Do we go all the way back to Rascaret into
Dunno.
the?
Let's get to the farm first, shall we?
True. Yeah, good point. Good point.
We're chasing Torvesh, right? So somehow we've got he might have escaped. If this escape path has come back to this valley, presumably Torvesh's escape path came back to this valley.
No, it didn't. Because we got a description. Because remember, he dropped a satchel, and we got the piece of paper that described his escape path, and his went somewhere different.
Different valley.
Different valley. Like I think it was on the way back to Tarang, I
The
believe.
trail has run cold, essentially, hasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sorry, Otto.
Mofo.
I mean, but the thing is, I think with the gate, with the portal, I mean, we can jump ahead of him, perhaps, depending on where those doors go.
Yeah.
Those locations are.
Yeah. But let's get some more first.
I think you're
Do
right.
some
Brad. I
tuning.
think we need to mark it, go, and come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
we'll just we'll see if there's any prominent. I guess we probably just need to maybe marking the ground at the bottom is relevant, right?
Well, and I think you're I think you're about to say a landmark idea, and just trying to get up here and make notes on landmarks around it.
Triangulate. We need.
Yeah.
We'll take 3 points to triangulate them, and then when we get down to the bottom, mark the tree that's nearest the path up.
Yep.
Or the place up.
Yep.
Okay.
Or put a big arrow on the ground.
What happens?
Hello.
Hello.
So, what time of day is it?
You've been taking it cautiously. You would say early-ish afternoon, maybe. Early to mid-afternoon, perhaps.
And if she was to take a wild guess at how long it would take to get to the farm, what would she say?
If you are where you think you are, I mean, this valley did look, if you recall, reasonably similar. If you're right, you think it could be another hour, maybe less than an hour. It depends how you get down, of course.
I was just wondering, what do you think, guys? Do you want to do this in daylight or do you want to go at night?
Where's the moon?
Minimizing the chance of being picked off by flying beasties as we descend.
Daylight is weapons. Night is trolls. Ogres.
Oh, that's the point. Yeah. All right.
And
Scorpions come out most at night. Ooh.
Okay. Well, what about in terms of getting down? Any fiendishly amazing spell idea?
Fly and float.
Float, yeah.
I wonder if that might be worth it.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, happy for that.
Yep, Nicholas can fly himself. And
I think I can fly or float anyone. It's a level 3 spell. Whereabouts are we in the day, Chris?
It would be early to mid-afternoon.
Yeah, so I mean, Yotto can do it 6 times, right? Or 5 times. He can fly 5 people. I mean, do you have high riding too?
Sure do.
Right,
Yep.
so between the two of us, I've got whatever it is, 15 power points, 17 power points. So I could fly 3 people. And do you want to fly 3 people and then we're there?
Yeah, I've got
Save Nicholas's power points.
I've got 26 power points, so that would take 9 off, still leaving me with 17.
appreciate the. Yep.
Make that.
You do 4 and I'll do 2. Because if I do 2, that'll leave me with 11, so I can still fire my firebolt if I need to.
Yeah.
And I reckon we all go together and head straight for the cover of some trees on the valley floor.
Okay, let's do that then, Chris. So I'm going to cast 2 fly spells on me and somebody else, let's say Nicholas. And Askel's going to cast 4 fly spells, himself and the 3 other party members. We can fly to where do you think, Graham?
Valley floor. Another cover of some trees. And while that's happening, Tanya will stare out into the valley, looking at the sky, looking for flying nasties.
Okay.
So we've got 10 minutes. We also want to head up the valley, don't we?
We do, but I think we're better doing that on foot.
Sure. Okay. So what's the closest point? Is it going to be, so if we can go up, we want to fly to the closest point under cover, but if we can do that heading up the valley towards Odin Farm, we will. So, if you see what I mean, there'll be an arc shape, maybe that we can fly towards the farm and be under cover just as quickly if we fly directly down.
I think directly down, because we are not going to be as adept as a wyvern in the air, and we know this valley has a lot of them. And so the closest we can get under cover and safety, I reckon, is better. Because if we were attacked on the wing, not good.
Okay, we'll just do that, Chris.
Okay.
Which is why Tanya's going to have a good look out while that's happening.
Cool. Tell me, guys, if you were up there, you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Up there?
Yep.
To the valley floor, how far is that in feet?
6, 8.
100.
On my computer, it's not even half a foot, bro.
This game needs to go metric, man.
500?
Yeah, no, these are towering cliffs. I'm going to say 1,500 foot.
Ooh.
Very, very, very tall. If you imagine that's a palm tree, that's a 30-foot palm tree, and you're up here. Yep, 1,500 feet. So how far can you fly?
Yeah,
Should be.
I'm just going to work that out. Give me 2 seconds.
30 foot for a round, so
My one's 75 foot around, bro.
You have to read it as fly 75 around on the lofty bridge, except the spell only allows a movement rate of 30 feet around.
Yeah, good spotting. And there's 10 seconds for a round,
Yes.
Yep.
180 a minute, and it'll last. I'm level 8 times 8. In that case, I'm short. I think we should say the cliffs are 1,440 feet high. Oh, you said 1,500 feet high, and we're not actually all the way to the top, are we?
No, I
So
said where you are, which is there, is 1,500 feet.
Okay, in which case I think we need to walk down to being in 1,440 feet, and then we can use the fly spell. Because that's as far as my spell will get you down.
Yeah, that'll be same for me.
I see they taper out though, Chris, at the bottom, right?
Yeah, so we could fly directly down, and then where it tapers out, we could essentially fly along the ground. So when we fall, we'll fall onto this 45-degree angled slope.
The
Or
naked,
we could just stop.
the naked open rock, sure. You bet.
Yeah, but
So we'll only have 60 feet of it to go, but yeah.
unless someone has a higher fly spell that travels and could tow the rest of it.
Well, Nicholas is 75 foot per round.
Well, there you go.
I mean, you could cast Fly 2. So Fly 2 is a level 5 spell. That will use 10 power points at 75 foot around. That easily do it.
Well, let's do that then. Yeah, that's the answer.
So Nicholas can do it twice. He'll have 7 power points left. He'd prefer to do it once on himself.
I think Yotto could do it. If Yotto could do it twice, but essentially that will denude. I mean, if he's going to do it twice, he might as well do it 3 times. I suppose he's left with the ice bolt.
Jada can fly herself, can't she?
Yeah, she can.
15 feet per round. Yeah.
It's no use.
Just
It's got to be 75 foot around.
Yeah, you can do it.
5, 6. Yep. So can we go Eskel, Yotto, Nicholas?
Oh, yeah, so 3 for Eskel.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that'll use 15.
Is that okay?
Yeah. That leaves them with 10.
Well,
Yeah, that's all right.
I mean, it's afternoon. The chance of us ending up in a battle, I think, are low. But so if Eskel has 10 and Yotto has 10, that gives us a couple of ice bolts each, doesn't it?
Yep.
So we've got some spell power to do shooty things if we need to, not lots. So we could fire shock bolts or.
Okay, have we got a plan?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So six fly spells. Everybody knows I've lost track of who's casting what. With adequate preparation, they only fail on a 1 or a 2. I need 6 rolls, please. I'm only interested in 1s or 2s.
Nicholas is fine.
Cool. Others?
Yotto's fine. Yep, Yotto's fine.
Eskel's got to do his transient armor first. 73 plus 75,
right.
148. So he passes that. And then he's got to do 3. First one, 71. Second one.
Technically, you need to cast transient armor for each spell.
Okay, yep. What do you need? 100 and what for transient armor?
101.
100. Oh, yeah, so.
Why doesn't he just take his armor off?
Could do. It's a bit wobbly on the edge of the cliff or whatever.
You haven't gone out onto the edge of the cliff. You take your arm off, cast the spells, then scoop. We can go 3,700 feet now. So we got plenty of fly space.
Yeah. He passed anyway. It was 106. So, so that was the second. Yeah. Second one, transient armor passed. Now the spell, 92. Yep, that's all good.
Third and
final transcend. 21. Ooh, that's
20.
only 96.
Yep, that's a failure. So you now.
He'll
Sorry.
He'll shake it off and wait to try again.
Okay.
Well, can someone else cast the extra fly spell?
I can.
He can just wait. It's not like a, and then have another go.
Yep. Someone do something, please, because I'm keen to get the story moving. So tell me what happens. He waits. Askell waits. Everybody else is flying. Askell waits, and then does what?
Yeah. Has another go.
Cool.
He got a 47, so yeah, that's a pass.
Cool. And then roll for the spell.
Yep. 74. So yeah,
Success.
he's all good.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So with incredible courage, you all are flown. Very unnerving, and yeah. If I ever, when I get round to doing the rules proper, there definitely will be a flying skill that you'll need to roll, but we're not going to worry too much about that now. But we do ask for agility checks for, just as a reminder, agility checks for key landings, etc., etc. Anyway, you head off the edge. As you go down, you are scanning everything, of course. You do notice that there looks to be, from that scree slope and this massive drop down here, very close to this, there does indeed appear to be some very cunningly formed path, ancient path with stone rather than wood, basically hidden into the cliff face. But from the angle that you're at, from above, you can see it relatively easily, actually. But certainly, if you're on the ground, it would be next to impossible. There are a couple. Sorry, please let me. Yeah, I'll just finish my narration. There are a couple of spaces, however, where the path either completely goes, and there's been a landslide or something, and there's a drop of thousands of, many hundreds of feet, 1,000 foot. Or the remains of the path on a very narrow ledge. Some of it you could have climbed across, perhaps, but it would have certainly been interesting. You could see there would have been definitely risk in heading down this hidden pathway had you chosen to go by foot. You continue your way down, and you land. And as promptly as you land, you do exactly as you described to me before, and you rapidly go for cover. And just as well you do, because I'm not going to say just as you hit the tree line, but not long afterwards, maybe five or so minutes after you hit the tree line, hear the following. And yes, indeed, one of these terrible things that you'd seen previously, only one, flaps its way down the valley. You hear it long before you see it. And perches up on this ledge up here. You guys have landed in and around here. What do you do?
Can we keep still? Can we keep absolutely still and undercover?
Mm-hmm.
And not move at all?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from Nicholas would move just enough, very slowly, to get out parchment and pen and ink and quill, and he would be making notes on the location of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Rough sketch, where the path comes out, to try and, document the surroundings so that we can come back here.
Okay.
And also where the path emerged.
Mm-hmm.
Tenny would do the same with her ink and stuff, but again, very slowly. And looking up at the thing the whole time.
You're not quite sure. You did lose track of where the path came down, by the way. Where it came out. You could see.
Oh, that's why I was I tried to interrupt you as I was coming down.
Yeah, you couldn't see it. couldn't see. So you're looking for where the path goes. It just seems something disappears. You lose sight of it. As it
All
comes
right.
down.
It'll be well hidden from the ground floor, from the ground anyway. And I reckon when we hit back here, we can just fly up and find it again. I reckon.
Okay. Yeah, so she'll do similarly. So we've got 2 accounts of this, and I guess just looking around for. Is there anything distinctive about the area where this secret passage is that we could, like a rock shape, a peak, a cluster of trees, a large neon sign? Well, what I mean is
Probably the main thing is this outcrop here. It's quite distinctive. Where this creature has landed, and the place that you emerge is a little bit further down the canyon, and then the path kind of snaked its way down the cliff, and you kind of lost track of it, kind of around here-ish. You don't know where it comes out. Does it come out further down here or down here? You don't know.
she'll sketch.
But certainly that lump there is distinctive. You would remember it, and you commit it to memory.
She'll sketch it too.
Sure.
Chris, does having a geography skill help you identify these things when we come back to it?
No, I don't believe so. Check up the skill, but as far as I know, it's mainly map reading and knowledge of maps.
Might help you with how it formed.
Yeah, maybe. That would be geology, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Well, no,
using-
geography. You know,
Geography, yeah, true. Yep.
the nature of the rock. It'd be the
Yep. True.
weathering. You can bore us on the way back on the weathering.
What do you do, please?
Well, what's happening with this wyvern? Is it moving?
No, you saw and heard exactly. Exactly that. It lands over here, and you're keeping very, very quiet and very, very still. Several hundred feet, quite some number of 100 feet away from it.
I mean, perceiving around us, just checking there's nothing else in this area that we need to avoid. But I reckon hold until that thing moves. What do you think?
Yeah, don't draw any attention.
Yeah, unless it's its roosting place, in which case,
Yeah, we'll give it a bit. Should we? We could sit here for an hour, and you could do some tuning.
quieter tuning.
Yeah, very quiet.
Yeah, well, why don't we do that?
We'll do
Sure.
a bit of a tuning, can't we?
It's lovely to do a bit of a tuning on
Well,
a
those
sunny
who've got the skill, yeah.
What Yodo needs is... Can I have a look at some of the stuff we've got again, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I put a if you scroll up.
That's what Yodo's looking for.
Well, we need to tune it. If you scroll up, I put a Word document into the chat, which has
thank you.
everything.
Also an item list in the items channel.
It's not a pink dress, but Yodo likes the look of that. The little necklace.
The
Maybe
eye
he'll have a
necklace.
punt at that. The necklace there, that thing there. Yep. Looks a bit like Sauron's eye.
Okay, so give me something to work with, guys. What happens?
Okay, I'm going to sit quietly for an hour and attune to this.
Okay. All right. Give me a roll.
Yeah.
88 could be very, very good. It could be less than good.
Don't say that to me, Chris. That's the best roll I've had all night.
5-7 for attunement.
Correct.
Cool. Just a second. Cool. So you've spent 1 hour and 1 minute. So that's plus 0. Let me just figure out some other stuff.
It's all right. Sorry, I hope Nicholas didn't want to attune this spooky looking thing. Actually, sorry.
Not bothered. Actually, just Nicholas was thinking to attune either the spectacles or the plain silver ring.
Okay. Spectacles.
Sorry. I thought you. Sorry, I was waiting for
Yes,
Yotto to finish.
yes. True.
Sorry.
Very good. What's Yotto is mentalism, correct?
I beg your pardon?
What's? Oh no, he's essence.
He is indeed essence.
Yes. Cool. And you rolled an 88.
Correct.
And 57 is the skill.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of shopping and changing here. Do that. No, we need to go to. Need to go to that. And Yotto coming into your. How exciting! This is the first time to use my fancy dancy spreadsheet with actually all of the results nicely bundled up, so I can share this with you. Okay, Yotto, information coming into your channel. 1 second. With you now.
Okay, so and he'd tell the others that essentially is unsuccessful.
Okay, Nicholas, you're doing spectacles.
Well, Nicholas would want opinions. There's a plain silver ring or the spectacles. He'll do the plain silver ring actually, I think.
Okay.
Unless anyone. Yep. Okay. Exclamation mark D100. That's a roll of 58.
58. Very good. Okay. What is his realm again?
He is mentalism.
Mentalism, thank you. And you rolled a 58, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And his skill, please.
66.
Nicholas coming into, and that was just to move through the items. That was that item there. Nicholas, some information coming into your chat now.
Cool. So he was, he was unsuccessful in tuning it, but he may have another go at some point.
Yeah, it's the same for Yotto actually. Chris, just from a technical perspective, do you just tell us if and when we can have another punt?
I am with my fancy dancy new spreadsheet. I know exactly what the deal is, and I'll let you know.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
So it's been an hour. 2 items have been attempted to attune. Anything else that's going on during that time? Oh, okay. So you wait an hour, and there is silence from across on this. Oops, you guys, yes, you can see it on this outcrop, whatever you want to call it, the creature hasn't moved. It definitely landed there. It's getting hot, and you guys are getting really thirsty.
Yeah, I think we should sneak.
So, if that is your decision, I would like the worst sneaker to do some sneaking rolls for me, please.
Is there a, in terms of the route, is there a, even if it's longer, is there a way down the valley that remains under tree cover?
Yep. You're heading. Which direction are you heading? Is probably a fair question.
Oh, back to the spiders. No. I think. Well, back to camp.
Okay.
What we do is there any? Nicholas would voice. Is there anyone who's got a silencing spell? Just out of
Yes,
interest.
so I was just looking at that actually. I've got a level 4 spell called Silent Movement, which allows the recipients, it's me, to cloak all of my movements in utter silence. Does anyone know how good is the vision of wyverns? They're going to see us or hear us?
Smell us, see us.
It doesn't make a difference, right? Unless he's going to go off on his own, it's still going to be the worst creeper who's going to make the noise.
Well, it'll be Severin, the worst.
Oh, it
Really?
says they can see perfectly in the dark. Great.
What?
Wyverns can see perfectly in the dark, apparently.
How do you know?
I'm just reading the internet.
Oh,
Maybe our one doesn't.
Internet entry I have says they can't see at all in the dark.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's got. Yeah, that is the one that's chasing us. That one.
they've got blunt teeth as well.
Short-sighted.
Yeah, well, worst is going to be Severin. He does actually have now does have a skill in moving silently, but it's shit. It's 28 plus 28. So yeah, he'd probably be the weak link. I don't know who's.
Can I ask a question, Chris? If I could Yotto cast condensation? Oh, he hasn't got condensation, so he doesn't have water law. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. Doesn't work. Sorry, Graham.
Graham?
Has anybody got lower than that? For moving silently?
No, mine's not much better, but mine's 36.
Moving side, is that just general movement or stalk hide?
Walk and hide.
Yeah, mine's 46.
Mine's 17.
Oh, you're weak.
31.
So you're the weak link. Hooray! Doesn't mean I won't.
Yay.
Is there anything we can do to make those? Not really, is there?
Couldn't we potentially cast float on Askell and pull him along? He'll make no noise. He'll be floating.
It will if we think we need to, I guess. I mean, it's all in the dice roll, isn't it? So it could be anyone really. But yeah, he's statistically the most likely. But they are a long way off, right? I guess we, put arrows on bows and all the rest of it. Is there a way that we can minimize the risk by moving very slowly?
You're doing all of that. That's the assumption. Absolutely. But your water is now effectively gone, and your tongues are feeling about 10 times larger than your mouths. You need to drink soon. And you will start getting penalties. But it's assumed you're taking every precaution. Who's making the dice roll, please?
In Chris, yeah, arrows on bows, obviously.
Sure thing.
Who's making the dice roll for the weak link? Well, that'll be Askell.
Okay. Really, all I'm interested in Askell is a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Because that would be a critical failure. This thing is quite some way off, to Graham's point, and it would have to be some kind of fumble for you to trip and fall and break a stick and a branch falls down and, a brass band springs out of your pocket or something. So really, it's down to it's all down to you, Askell, and it's a 1, 2, 3, or 5. No pressure.
1, 2, 3, or 5. So if I roll a 4, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
I'm gonna and Tenya will take the brass spring out of his pocket, so he won't roll.
Okay.
I did a 30.
30. A 30. Interesting.
$30 mast.
You're good. You really just didn't want to break a branch, otherwise I would have had to have organised a combat map. And that would be sad.
Oh, I save you a lot of bother.
It did save me a lot of bother. It did.
We're just thinking of you.
That's very kind of you. So you continue your way up the valley, and you walk on for, Tanya's memory was about right, about 3/4 of an hour. You turn a couple of corners. You do hear and see in the distance, definitely far away from you, and definitely not a threat, but probably not the one that you saw, but another couple up in the sky further down the valley. Happens both once and then for a second time. Maybe it was the same one. That one you're not sure. It could have been the one that you saw. But you walk up the remainder of the valley. You do pass at least one collection of bodies. These bodies have been out now in the hot sun for going on 3 days, and they're getting pretty ripe. And you smell them well and truly before you see them. They're covered in... They're a pretty disgusting sight. They're covered in all kinds of things that are consuming the flesh, and they reek.
And does Tenya recognise those?
Sorry, Graham. I was in the middle of. Give me a chance, please, to set a scene, and then I'll definitely ask what do you want to do, and you can come to it. So I hadn't finished. So you had smelt and seen them for quite some way off. There was some scuttling in the undergrowth when you got closer. You didn't quite see what it was when you got there. It was moderately, not large, but it was not like, it's certainly not obviously a wyvern or some kind of ogre, but definitely a larger creature. But it heard you approach, and there was some cracking in the undergrowth. Graham, you had a question.
I just was interested to know if it's the same bodies that we passed on the way back.
Yes, it was. Yeah, as mentioned, yes, it was the same bodies. You wind your way. As mentioned, it was the same. You'd seen several of these. What was your great line in terms of a title? Torvish's Trail of Tears. So they were part of Torvish's Trail of Tears. Less than an hour later, the grounds begins to increase, and sure enough, with your tongue, with absolutely the last of your water gone an hour ago, and getting pretty hot and pretty sweaty, you come out to a familiar sight. You come out here. Or you come up at least at the base of, if you remember, there's quite a long, whoops, and there isn't your little buddy here. That unnerved you a bit, didn't it?
He's there from last time, is he?
He is there from last time. There we go.
You can go back in this wee bag.
Gone.
That wyvern's good at endurance.
Yes, been sitting in the same place for ages. So you may or may not recall, but there was quite a steep decline into the valley that you've come out of, and you're now at the bottom of this hill leading up to Adana Farm. Anything you do, any preparations you should make? Yeah, what you do. The weather. Sorry, just very quickly. The weather, by the way, quite dry as described, and you can hear the wind, but that's it. No precipitation.
Can you remind me where we arranged to meet our guides? They're under a tree somewhere, weren't they?
Yes, you had arranged to meet your guides down here, other side of the farm.
And we know there's water on the far side of the farm, don't we?
Yeah. There was
So
spring there.
we want to creepy around, don't we, and go get a drink.
Well, do you want Tanya to go ahead?
With some water flasks and come back with them for us?
I mean, just to go to the top of the slope in case there's something we don't know about at the top of the slope.
Very good thinking.
That's a good idea. But the people at the farm weren't enemies exactly. They weren't friends, but we weren't fighting them, were we, at the end?
No, it's just if anything else has occurred.
Yeah, good idea.
So Tanya's happy to do that, but she will spend a not inconsiderable time looking at the sky.
Okay. Give me a perception roll, please.
Yeah. 5.
Yep, must. You'll be pleased to know.
Good. Plus 85.
Cool. Yes. Further down the valley, a long way away. Probably further than even where you came out. She does see a couple of specks moving on the horizon. Well and truly, a very long way away.
Okay. Well, she'd like to stealthily, perceiving, through the undergrowth as she goes, checking for things around her, checking her surroundings, up and left and right, and ahead. She would like to stealthily make her way up to the top or towards the top.
Okay.
Hiding.
Yep. Give me a roll, please.
So that's a 4. They get better, don't they?
No, that is not must. Give me a roll, please. Roll again.
Was it not?
No, because stalk is something that you have a sense of whether or not you tread on a stick or something like that. So I've always assumed
38.
Always assumed that stalk is unmasked.
38.
Yeah. Thanks, got it. 4 minus 38, and her skill, please.
Plus 162. Oh no, sorry. One moment. 159.
Okay. She moves up. I mean, it is hard moving through undergrowth and all the rest. There is at least a breeze to mask some of her passing, but she definitely is not doing her best work. She does step on the occasional twig, and there's not oodles of cover. You can see that terrain there. There are the occasional bush and things like that, but a lot of it is quite open. In fact, the majority of the climb up is open. She's keeping to the rock walls, however. She gets up to here, doesn't see or hear anything.
Okay, she might pause there and hide into the shadows as best she can. Keep flat. Sorry, I'm not exact. Can you describe where I am?
Oh yes, you're not looking at the screen, of course. So you've come up and you're looking at the wall.
Oh, I'm near the palisade. Okay,
near
that's
the palisade.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, she might just perceive the hell out of that for a while. And roll.
Yeah, please.
77 plus 85.
Yeah, how long is she there for?
Oh, might just take a little wee while actually, like about 15 minutes. Just
okay. Yep. All right. She's been there about 5 or so minutes, and second. Yeah, she picks up voices inside the palisade walls, and then another 4 or 5 minutes after that, the sound of chopping wood. What I
Can't see anybody.
No.
And can she sort of go round? There was a way of going. Am I going round the side of the palisade the way we came? I suppose.
Yes. Are you looking at the map or not? I'm assuming not.
No, sorry. I guess I'm interested in just getting to the meeting place with as much cover as possible.
Okay. So I don't know if you are looking at the map or not, but there's that kind of cover. Not a lot.
All right. Well, she'll continue on her way as best she can.
Is she going all the way around to?
I guess I'm probably going to be seen, aren't I?
It'll make more sense for her to go.
I may go back for the others. Actually, I'm just wondering if we may as well all. There's not much point in her being spotted, and they think we're sneaking up on them, is there? She hasn't caught sight of anybody within the compound, anyway. Can she? How far does she have to go down to sort of signal?
A bit of a way. Yep.
I think she'll just go back and signal. Well, because I mean, let me think. I reckon we don't want to be seen to be sneaking in on them. It'd probably just freak them out more. So I guess I've heard the sounds of normality. So yeah, I'll backtrack and wave them up.
Okay. It's bang on 10 o'clock, guys. Do we want to? I'd be keen to move forward a little bit, probably another 5 or 10 minutes, but we can also end it there, if depending on how people are going. And Graham, I'm conscious that you may need to bail.
That's all right. I don't mind listening for a bit, but I'll just listen in.
Yeah, I'm keep going.
Yep, we need water.
Okay. Giles, are you all right for another minute or so?
Yotto would prefer Coke Zero if we can find some, but water is the best.
Okay. So you're heading up and you're walking. You're not trying to disguise your passing, is the sense I'm getting. Am I right? Yep, that's a nod from Pete. Thank you. Cool. So look, you do exactly that. You get up to here, and clank and bits of metal, and you're now retracing quite familiar ground. This hopefully is looking reasonably familiar to you, and you get to how wide a berth are you giving? Are you intending to give this area? Are you, for example, going down here, or are you going? Yeah, what's your?
I think we keep a wide. I think we keep a wide berth. Being open towards the people in the palisade. If they see us, would wave at them. But
okay,
yeah, I think keep a wide berth, and we're not hiding.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not walking past the main gates, but you're kind of heading in this direction. Okay, and
keeping to ourselves. Keeping to ourselves.
And you'd arranged to meet the guides a bit further down the hill. If you remember, there was a track that went a wee out. Okay. So you get to about this point, not exact about. You get to this point here, where actually you can see over the, you're actually on higher ground there, and you can see down into the collection of people, and you can see them there, and they see you, and there's a shout, and people start running or moving quickly. They come out, and you keep walking, I'm assuming. Yep, hands up. They collect weapons, and they come up here and simply that takes a bit of time. Or they're sorry. Let me try this again. Not a good description. You are seen. There is a shout, and there are a number of people grabbing weapons, etc. Do you keep walking, or do you stay where you are? And your hands are up, and you're waving, and you're doing all that. you're being clearly non-aggressive. Do you stop or do you keep walking? Is probably the question I'd like to know.
I think we keep walking, but we just make sure we're keeping a wide berth. Nicholas would consult the rest of the group. Do we shout to them? We are friends. We are friends.
Yeah, if they'll recognise us, I agree. We keep going. We give them as wide a berth as possible. We acknowledge their presence, but
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Say, shout with friends.
Yeah, Nicholas would do that, and Elberinian.
Yeah, could you give me a remember quite different dialects? So could you give me a communications roll, please?
Sure. I wanted to keep it simple.
Yeah, understand.
You never know when you get the wrong word, though.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Yep.
Oh.
It's a must. It's must. It is must.
Oh, good. Because that was
must.
a 3.
Yeah, it's must. It's definitely must. Because you don't know how you're going to do. Okay, and what is his Alberinian times 5? Sorry, his number of ranks times 10, so that's 50. Yep, plus 50.
Yep.
Plus his mentalism. Sorry, his memory and his reasoning.
Memory and reasoning is 26.
Cool. So that was.
Sorry, that was memory plus reasoning halved. It was 26.
Yes. Plus 26
Yep.
plus. Okay. Yeah, you think you got the right words, Nicholas. You're not sure, but you think you got the right words. You didn't tell them that your hovercraft is full of eels or something. And yeah, you think you got the message across. Several of the men, and to remind you just a little bit about the people that you were dealing with, some of these people here, and you remember that someone actually shot Askell. It was getting quite tense with these people, but you ultimately, as you say, you don't know if you parted as friends, but you weren't killing each other. They come up to the walls. They have spears and bows, etc., and they watch you. They don't say or do anything. They certainly don't raise the weapons. They see it's you. They hear what Nicholas has said. They don't respond, but nor do they take any action. And they watch you as you continue walking. Any actions from people I should be aware of? Nope. Okay. You walk your way up over this terrain and around here, and then you start, you find the goat track, you follow it up, you head down the hill, round the corner to where you arranged to meet your guides, and they're not there. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Interesting.
There is the sign of a camp. There's the sign of a couple of a fire, and perhaps you can, if people want to do further investigation rolls next time. But there is certainly no one waiting for you there.
Can I double check this? But they were going to wait 3 days.
Yeah, how long have we been gone?
Well, we took 1 day going down the valley, getting through the woods, and we slept. We didn't sleep going down the valley, did we? We slept the first night behind the portcullis.
Yes.
Yep. Then we did the whole exploring the metal dogs and into the chamber and exploring the doors. You also got chopped up. Oh, sorry. And then we slept a second night, so that we did 1, 2. So this is the 3rd day. So we'd expect them to still be here because we'd be expecting them to leave tomorrow morning.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Just checking the reasoning. Okay.
And there we go. Roll credits, guys. First game of the year. How's that?
Very good. Very good.
Glad to be out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
should
pay
go.
some of the locals to be our guides back. Maybe.
All our horses.
Horses. Did you have horses? Oh, we did.
So if someone remembers that, oh no, I left the van keys behind.
You didn't. Yes. Damn it! No horses for you, but there were horses in the farm, not yours.